When was the last time you checked your blood sugar? Were you startled by the number? Or have you grown used to seeing it stay high, refusing to come down? I know that feeling. I remember standing in my kitchen, deep in the heart of Texas, with my glucose meter sitting on the counter, wondering if there was a way to control this disease without feeling like I was missing out on all the delicious things in life. Then, I stumbled upon a little secret, not a pill, not a miracle cure, but a food so simple it was almost unbelievable: chaffles. If you haven't heard of them, imagine a waffle, but without flour, without sugar, just eggs, cheese, and a little creativity. At first, I wasn't much of a cook. I cooked to survive, not for passion. But I knew one thing: if I could make this diet easy, I could stick with it long term. So, I started experimenting. In less than 10 minutes, I had a batch of warm, slightly crispy, cheesy chaffles. And the best part? My blood sugar didn't spike after eating them. It was a small victory. But small victories are what make the biggest difference. Would you like to learn how to make them? I'll show you right now. 1. Chaffles. The secret to never feeling deprived. When most people hear about dieting for diabetes, the first thing that comes to mind is what they can't eat. No bread, no fries, no cakes. But what if I told you there was a way to enjoy a delicious breakfast without worrying about your blood sugar? Would you believe me? That's when I discovered chaffles, a simple recipe that completely changed the way I viewed low-carb eating. If you've never heard of them, chaffles are nothing more than eggs and cheese. Yes, just 2 ingredients. You whisk an egg, mix it with some shredded cheese, pour it into a waffle maker, and in just a few minutes, you have a golden, crispy, delicious waffle. The best part? It won't spike your blood sugar and doesn't make you feel like you're missing out on anything. But there was one problem. The basic chaffle recipe only makes 2 or 3 small waffles. And if you have someone in your house who loves them as much as you do, or if you just want more for yourself, they disappear quickly. So, what's the solution? Make more at once. Here's how I optimized my chaffle making process. Use a 4-slot chaffle maker. This allows me to make 4 at a time, saving a ton of time. Use 2 mini chaffle makers by running all of them at once. I can make 6 chaffles in under 5 minutes. Once I've made a large batch, I store them in an airtight container in the fridge. Whenever I need one, I just reheat it and enjoy. No more standing in the kitchen every morning making them one by one. Honestly, when you find little tricks like this, dieting stops feeling like a struggle. It becomes easier, less frustrating, and most importantly, you still get to enjoy good food without harming your health. And this is just the beginning. You can customize chaffles in countless ways to make them the perfect fit for your taste. Let me show you how. 2. How to turn chaffles into the perfect meal. When I first tried making chaffles, I admit, I was skeptical. Just eggs and cheese? I thought, can that actually taste good? But after my first bite, I was hooked. They were crispy, rich, and incredibly satisfying. But if you want to take them to the next level and make them even better, here are a few tricks I've learned along the way. The perfect chaffle recipe. If the basic recipe is just eggs and cheese, this version will give you a crispier, tastier, less eggy chaffle. 2 eggs, 1/2 teaspoon baking powder, makes the chaffles fluffier and lighter. 1 cup shredded cheese, cheddar, mozzarella, or a mix of both. 4 tablespoons almond flour, adds crunch and makes them more bread-like. 1 tablespoon soy flour, optional, gives them a firmer texture, making them feel more like real waffles. 1/4 cup heavy whipping cream, adds richness and a softer texture. Instructions. Mix all ingredients in a large bowl and whisk until well combined. Preheat your waffle maker to ensure the perfect crispy texture. Pour the batter into the waffle maker, close the lid, and cook for about 5 minutes. Once golden brown and crispy, remove and let them cool slightly before eating. The result? Crispier, firmer chaffles that don't taste too eggy or feel too soft. If you've tried the traditional recipe and found it too eggy, give this version a shot, I promise. You'll love it. Chaffles. A versatile meal for any time of the day. The best thing about chaffles? They're not just for breakfast, you can turn them into anything you want. A low-carb bagel replacement. One of my favorite ways to enjoy them is by spreading a thick layer of cream cheese on top. Then sprinkling some everything bagel seasoning. If you've never tried this seasoning, you're missing out. It's a mix of sesame seeds, garlic, onion, and sea salt. It tastes just like a bagel, but without the flour or the blood sugar spike. A keto-friendly dessert. Yes, chaffles can be sweet. If you have a sweet tooth, try this. Chop up a few fresh strawberries, only about 1 gram of carbs per berry. Lightly mash them to release their juices. Then spread them over a chaffle. Top with a generous dollop of keto-friendly whipped cream. The crunch of the chaffle, the mild sweetness of the strawberries, and the rich, creamy topping come together for a perfect dessert that won't send your blood sugar skyrocketing. The ultimate low-carb breakfast, chaffles as pancakes. On Saturday mornings, when I want a classic American breakfast but need to keep my carbs in check, I use chaffles like pancakes. I stack one on a plate, drizzle some homemade keto syrup, and serve it with sausage or bacon. Here's how to make the perfect keto syrup. 1.5 tablespoons melted butter, 1 to 2 drops of sugar-free syrup or stevia, a sprinkle of crushed pecans or almonds. Mix everything together and pour it over your chaffle for a delicious, filling breakfast that won't spike your blood sugar. Chaffles. The key to enjoying low-carb eating. Chaffles aren't just a simple food, they're a game-changer for anyone on a low-carb diet. They help you feel like you're not giving up anything. Whether you want a sandwich, a sweet treat, or a classic American breakfast, chaffles can do it all. So, next time you're craving something crispy, delicious, and blood sugar friendly, make a batch of chaffles. 3. The ultimate keto syrup recipe. If you've tried making chaffles and turning them into pancakes, you might have noticed one thing missing: a rich, sweet syrup to complete the perfect breakfast. But of course, regular syrups are a nightmare for anyone with diabetes. They're packed with refined sugars that can send your blood sugar soaring within minutes. So, is there a way to enjoy that same sweet, buttery goodness without worrying about sugar levels? The good news is, yes. And even better, it takes just 30 seconds to make. The keto syrup recipe. With just 3 simple ingredients, you can create a delicious, buttery, low-carb syrup that perfectly complements your keto lifestyle. Ingredients: 1.5 tablespoons butter, provides a creamy, rich texture, making it the perfect substitute for traditional syrup. 2 drops sugar-free syrup, skinny syrup or stevia, adds sweetness without causing blood sugar spikes. A few pecans, chopped, adds a slight crunch and enhances the depth of flavor. Instructions: cut the butter into small pieces and melt it in the microwave for 25 seconds. If you don't have a microwave, you can melt it on the stovetop over low heat. Add the sugar-free syrup to the melted butter. If using skinny syrup, just 1 to 2 drops are enough. If using stevia, be careful, it's very sweet, and a tiny amount goes a long way. Sprinkle in some chopped pecans. Stir well, and let it sit for a few seconds to allow the flavors to blend. Enjoying keto syrup in the best ways. Now you have a buttery, sugar-free, zero-carb syrup that tastes just as good as traditional syrup. Here are some of the best ways to enjoy it. 1. Chaffle pancakes, a blood sugar-friendly breakfast. This is my absolute favorite way to use it. Take 1 or 2 warm chaffles from the fridge, place them on a plate and drizzle the rich keto syrup over the top. For extra indulgence, add a bit of sugar-free whipped cream or a few slices of fresh strawberries. Pair it with some sausage or bacon, and you've got a filling breakfast that won't spike your blood sugar. A crispy, syrup-soaked chaffle with that buttery richness. This is how I start my weekend mornings. 2. Keto syrup with yogurt, the perfect dessert. Who says keto eaters can't enjoy dessert? Take a bowl of unsweetened Greek yogurt. Drizzle warm keto syrup over the top. Sprinkle some chopped almonds or pecans for extra crunch. The cool, creamy yogurt mixed with the buttery and slightly sweet syrup makes it feel just like caramel ice cream, but without the sugar. 3. Keto syrup in coffee, the secret to a perfect keto latte. One thing I discovered after making this syrup is that it works amazingly well in coffee. If you love sweet, creamy coffee but need to avoid sugar, try this. Add 1 to 2 drops of keto syrup to a cup of hot black coffee. Pour in a splash of heavy cream or unsweetened almond milk. Stir well, and enjoy a rich, frothy latte that's completely blood sugar friendly. With this trick, I've completely ditched sugar-filled coffee shop drinks. Now, I can enjoy my morning coffee without worry. Why keto syrup is a game changer for low-carb diets. If you're following a low-carb diet or managing diabetes, this keto syrup is a game changer. It helps you enjoy your favorite flavors without feeling deprived. With just butter, sugar-free syrup, and nuts, you can create the perfect topping for chaffles, yogurt, coffee, and more. So, the next time you're craving a sweet breakfast that's still healthy, try this keto syrup recipe. I promise, you'll love it from the very first bite. Final thoughts. Managing diabetes doesn't mean giving up everything you love. You can still enjoy delicious foods without spiking your blood sugar, as long as you make smart swaps. With chaffles, you get a meal that's simple, delicious, and incredibly versatile. Whether you turn them into sandwiches, keto desserts, or a full American-style breakfast, they'll fit seamlessly into your low-carb lifestyle. And don't forget, if you love sweet flavors but need to avoid sugar, this homemade keto syrup is the perfect way to enhance your meals without the guilt. Try making a big batch of chaffles, store them in the fridge, and enjoy them all week. Not only will this save time, but it'll also make sticking to a low-carb diet easier than ever. Looking for more tips and inspiration to take control of diabetes? Check out the other videos on our channel, where we share practical advice, delicious recipes, and real-world solutions to help you beat diabetes for good.